Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about foundations, and these are like my top 5 foundation picks for Indian / brown skin tone. The reason I say brown skin tone specifically, it's because this is an issue that we often find in the industry. The color range for brown skin people is very limited, so it's difficult to find anything that works for brown skin really. So these are foundations that has like great shade ranges, and I picked up the top 5 that I thought would be perfect if you're brown skin tone and you want to go and purchase a foundation. Now before we get into my top picks, I would like to say about my skin tone and my preference. So my skin is dry skin. Ever since I got pregnant, I became combination / dry skin, but it's still leaning towards dry skin. It's combination only because of the breakouts I've been getting, and it's a little oily around the region that I get breakouts. But other than that, around my nose, around my forehead, and like the usual areas that's dry for me is always stay dry. I look for foundations that falls on either like the natural to satin finish or dewy finish. I don't tend to gravitate towards matte foundations only because it's too drying and it'll emphasize any dryness that I have in my skin. So these are all foundations mostly with those finishes. As far as coverage is concerned, I like my foundation from light to medium coverage. I don't like a lot of coverage in my foundation. I like it when, you know, even today I have a lot of like breakouts from my pregnancy, and you can still see through my breakouts if you like come up close. And this is a little bit towards full coverage for me. Otherwise I would like to keep it very light. I would like to cover a little bit of like pigmentation and dark spots, but nothing too much where it looks like I'm wearing too much makeup. So that's my preference. So all of these are mostly light to medium coverage. You can definitely build certain ones to full coverage, which I would also get to it when I'm going through the foundations. So without any further delay, let's get into the video. Okay, so I've rated this from 5 to 1 being my most favorite. So I would say my most favorite toward the end, but all of these are my favorites. All of these are the foundations that I use all the time. Now before we get into the video, if you want a reference of my skin tone, in MAC foundations, I'm an NC42 usually, so that's kind of where I lay into. I get a little bit tanned during the summer, a little bit more lighter during winter, but it kind of stays around the NC42 range. The foundation that's on number 5 on my list is the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Makeup. Now the reason I chose this on my list is because this is a foundation that you can pretty much find in any drugstore. Target, Walmart, Rite Aid, CVS, anywhere you walk into you can definitely find this. And this is a very affordable makeup. It ranges from anywhere from $7 to $10 for 1 fluid ounce. And it's a very cute bottle. Not the most practical bottle for me per se. I like my foundations with pump in it, just because it makes it so much more easier. This one you have to open it and like kind of dump it into like a palette or your hand and then work with it. It's a light to medium coverage foundation. It's a natural finish foundation, so it looks really pretty on skin. It doesn't look too matte or too dewy. It's just right in between, and I'm in the shades W6 Sun Beige. They have about 33 colors, and that's why I like this a lot. Now I really like it because of the shade range and because of how easily accessible it is and the price range of it. So the next foundation, which is my favorite, would be the LA Girl Pro Coverage HD Longwear Illuminating Foundation. Now that's a mouthful to say. If you guys have been wanting a foundation that looks beautiful on your skin, this is a foundation that I would look for. And this is a dewy foundation, it's an illuminating foundation, so it's going to make your skin look glowy and healthy, and it also has this beautiful finish to it. It's a high definition foundation, so it photographs beautifully. If you are going for an event, if you're going, you know, somewhere out to click pictures, then this is a foundation that works beautiful. This is also very affordable. This ranges anywhere between $9 and $10, and it has 0.95 fluid ounce, which is pretty much 1 fluid ounce, and that's pretty standard. And the packaging is beautiful. It's a plastic bottle, but it looks like a glass bottle. It looks very pretty, and I'm in the shade Warm Beige, and this gives a light to buildable coverage. Now I don't think you can build it all the way to full coverage, but you can get anywhere from light to medium coverage, but it is so beautiful on the skin and I use this all the time. And they have about 16 colors. You can find this at Ulta, Walmart or Amazon. This works really well every time I wear this. So the next foundation that I have is my Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. Now this is by far the cheapest foundation that I own in my collection as far as price is concerned, and this is one of my favorite foundations, especially for everyday wear. Now, like I already told my preferences, for everyday use I like my foundations to be very natural. I like my skin to, you know, breathe a little bit. This is a foundation that I wear all the time when I want a little bit of coverage but not too much. And I'm in the shade Desert Beige in this. On the Wet n Wild website, they say that there's 20 shades on it, but in stores, I feel like there's only about 6 or 7 shades. Maybe the stores that I go to, but pretty much Rite Aid, Target, everywhere that I've seen this foundation, I feel like there's only 6 or 7 in there. But if you go to a store and if you swatch this and if you feel like it's not your shade range, then you can order it online. Now Desert Beige is a little bit, just a tiny little bit lighter on my skin, but I can make it work only because it's a light coverage foundation, and so when you blend it out it looks a little bit more natural. Now this has a satin finish and it looks really pretty on skin. Now again, it doesn't cover too much, so if you want a full coverage foundation, if you want to step out to an event or click photograph, then it's probably not the best foundation to use, but I love it and I use it all the time. Also, I don't know if I mentioned the price. It ranges anywhere between $4 and $6, but for the most part Wet n Wild has like sale all the time. So if you're picking it up from, you know, Rite Aid or CVS, you can always find coupons and go when they have a sale and get it for much cheaper. Okay, so now I have my last 2 picks, and both these foundations are my absolute favorite foundations. I use them both equally. I like them both equally. I don't think I have a preference of one over the other, except for how my skin behaves during the day. And both of these rank pretty much the same according to my preference. So the first foundation that I wanted to mention is this Fenty Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. Now this is a brand that was created by Rihanna, and this was really hyped up and this was really like all over social media, and it's definitely for a good reason. The most important reason is that it has 40 shades in it, so there's so many shades to choose from, and I'm in the shade 300, and this is mentioned as a neutral undertone for medium to tan skin tone. When I went to the store, I wore like 2 foundations. One was 300, one was 310. 300 was more of neutral and 310 was more warm. But I felt like the warm seemed like too yellow on my skin, so I just picked up this neutral one. And it has like 1.08 fluid ounce and it retails for $34. So it's pretty pricey, but not too pricey for like a Sephora high-end foundation. And the packaging is beautiful. It's this glass packaging. It has a white top to it and it has like pump in it, and it's so pretty. It feels really luxurious. It's a very natural filtered finish. That's how I can explain it the best. This is a medium to buildable coverage. I feel like you can definitely build it to a full coverage using this. It says it's a soft matte foundation. It feels like you have like a Facetune filter on your skin. That's how it looks, and I'm not exaggerating. It gives a beautiful finish. It kind of fills in the pores, but not in a bad way. It looks very flawless. When I first used it, I felt like around my nose it was getting like a little bit cakey, a little bit dry, but I realized if I prep my skin really well, if I apply like a good moisturizer and like a good oil before I apply my foundation, this goes on beautiful, and it looks really nice in photographs and it looks nice in person too. So that's what I love about this foundation. Today I have this foundation along with the next foundation that I have. I mix them pretty much every time I have to step out and I want a good coverage foundation, but also for my skin to look very nice. That's when I mix both of the foundations, because this is matte, the other one is a dewy foundation. When I mix them both, it gives this beautiful mix of both. You know, it makes my skin look flawless, but it also makes it look more healthy. So if you guys have been wanting to try this, I would definitely recommend this. Go to Sephora, pick one for yourself and try it out and let me know how it works for you. So we're at the last foundation we're going to talk about, and this one is the Makeup Forever HD foundation. This is my most used foundation and the most safest foundation when I want a good skin day. If I know I'm going to be photographed, if I know I'm going to be staying out late, if I want my skin to look like flawless and healthy, this is the foundation that I reach for. Now, like I said, both my Fenty and my Makeup Forever are pretty much in my top favorites, and today I mix them both, and I mix them both a lot. And this is also a foundation that has 40 shades in it. It's like a makeup artist brand, so if you're a makeup artist, this is a beautiful foundation to keep in your kit because it works really well on any skin tone and any skin type. The only drawback about this foundation is the shade range. I'm in the shade Y415. Very confusing to find your shade range. You can only walk into like a Sephora or Makeup Forever store and ask them to match it to your skin tone. It's very difficult for you to figure out your foundation color only because of how the shade range is mentioned. But this is again a HD foundation. This is pretty much very comparable to the LA Girl Pro Coverage foundation in coverage and how it looks. But this looks more natural. This looks more flawless, and this looks more healthier on skin. And this has 1 fluid ounce product in it, which is pretty much the standard. And it retails for $43 at Sephora, which is a little bit more pricier than the Fenty. The Fenty retails for $34 and this is $43. But it's a beautiful foundation. It's a medium to buildable coverage foundation and gives a beautiful finish, and it photographs really well, and you can always find your shade in this. So that's one of my most favorite foundations. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed doing this video after a long time. And if you guys are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up, and please follow me on all my social media. It's all given in the link in the description box down below, and all these foundations that I spoke about will also be linked in the description box down below. And have a great day. Bye guys.